Hello, welcome to another episode of Your Health Matters. This is our second episode. I'm your host, Dr. Sonny Karaoke. And before I go on into what this episode is going to be about, first I'd like to apologize because I've not released the videos on the inspiration and the why and how this channel is going to operate. What inspired me to start this channel, what are the aims and objectives, and how am I going to do it? What tools am I going to use? Am I just going to be talking all the time? I mean, I don't like listening to my voice, but yeah, I know people will probably get tired of that, so yeah. I'll try and do an episode of what tools we're going to use, and I think it's going to be really nice and you're going to enjoy it, not endure it. That's how it sounded like. Yeah, so in this episode I want to talk about something that has been on social media a lot, and it's about myths about miscarriages, ectopic pregnancy, and infertility. Yeah, and so yeah, it's not going to be a very long video. So to start with, I have my notes. Yeah, and I'm going to look at them every now and then. Yeah, and yeah, my handwriting is not that good, I mean, it used to be really good until I came to the UK. I wonder if there's an association between coming to the UK and bad handwriting. Sorry, so let's talk about this today's topic. So we're talking about myths about miscarriages, ectopic pregnancy, as well as infertility. So I think every time someone has posted on social media, about their pregnancy journey, those cute pregnancy bumps and all that stuff, and this person happened to lose this pregnancy later on, or even lose their lives unfortunately, or their beautiful babies were born sleeping. Some of the comments under those posts are unfathomable. They are, you can't think that people would think to post such insensitive things, but they do. And today we want to address why possibly this happens. And so some of these myths would include evil eye, whereby we are living in a spiritual world, and some people are so evil, they are so filled with venom, they don't wish you well. And if you're pregnant and they just have all this venom and they're looking at your pregnant tummy and all that belly, that can induce a miscarriage or something of the sort, or even affect your life, And I think in Kenya we'll call that machombaya, evil eye, simple translation. And I think if you're a rational person, or if you have, if you know that these are just health conditions and they're not linked to evil eye, and this extends to the belief that abortion can cause infertility or something of the sort, and it's blamed on every single person or every single woman who's trying to have a baby and they can't. They're said, hey, did you have an abortion at some point in your life, blah 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 blah, and I'm going to describe this by a health seminar that I once attended, and how it made me feel after I attended it, and years later how it just makes me more angry when I think about it. So I'm just touching my laptop because I don't want it to go off. And I think years ago I attended a reproductive health seminar for young women, and I thought this was really nice. It was a place of work, and they'd invited an auntie to come and talk to us about female reproductive health, hygiene, as well as sexually transmitted diseases, as well as other diseases not related to sex, and my God, she started out really well, and she spoke about thrush, I don't know if you've heard about thrush, but I'll talk about that a bit later on, I think towards the end of this story. And she talked about thrush and what the causes were, and she said, I think they're not sexual, and she listed them, maybe your undergarments are too tight, there's something irritating your private parts and things like that, and this was going on so well, and I thought, yeah, oh wow, my God, I'm really, really liking this. And then she said, but for most of you, it's because you allowed a man to touch you. That's why you have thrush, Okay, I'm sorry, but the damage that she did, oh my God, the damage that she did, honestly, at that point, I think I had thrush, and because, one of the symptoms, it's itchiness and all that stuff, and I'm logged onto the NHS website, and they're talking about thrush. It's actually a common yeast infection that affects men and women, and most people are likely to have it, and it's usually harmless. And guess what? It's really easy to treat. But when Auntie said, when she said, it's because you allowed a man to touch you, honestly, I'd not had sex. I'd not. But would I go for treatment? Of course not, because I was so scared of being judged. What would people say about me? What would the doctor say? They'd say probably it's because someone touched you. That. And I'm not. And she prevented me from getting help over something that is so easy to treat. Do you know how easy to treat it is? So fast forward years later, I come to the UK, and in the UK, if you're over 25, you're eligible for cervical cancer screening, and they do that every 3 years. And the nurse is examining me, and the nurse says, oh yeah, you do have thrush. And I'm like, what? And she said, oh, it's nothing to worry about, And honestly, after the results came out, the doctor called me, the nurse called me, and they gave me all the information that I needed to know how to treat it. It's so simple. It's as easy as going to the to a pharmacy and getting the medication and administering it yourself. And my God, the relief was really, really amazing, And so the damage that she did, I was lucky. I happened to come to the UK, and I was able to address whatever I was going through. But not so many people that attended that, they still think that it's their fault that they have thrush. It's because they had sex with someone. It should not even about whether you've had sex or not. It's that it's so easily treatable. So it's not about who's had sex. Forget about that. Can you point them towards the treatment and all that stuff? So I do know how angry, when misinformation is posted on social media. I know how angry it can make you feel. Honestly, every time I think about Auntie, and the information, and the wrong information she gave me about a simple yeast infection, it makes me angry. It makes me go quiet. It makes me wanna punch at someone or something. So, but I want us to think about it. I want us to think about the people that comment about this differently. I want to introduce a different angle, and I'll do that using 3 words: maneno matatu. Sorry. I swear my Swahili ya bara is quite intact. Maneno matatu, but it would sound better if I said maneno matamu, but there's nothing tamu about what I'm going to say. There's nothing sweet about it. So 3 words: low health literacy, low health literacy. And I want to demonstrate this using 2 questions. 2 questions. And please, if you're able to leave a comment, leave a comment. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about this. So 1, where did you first get your health knowledge on miscarriages, on ectopic pregnancies, on infertility? So where did you first get information, on the causes of these things? I'm going to tell you my story. And when I was growing up, there were a few women around us who could not have kids, and this is the information that I got as to why they could not have kids from society, and I believed it. One word: abortions. Abortions. They'd had one or several abortions that prevented them from having babies. Do I know if that information is true? I think years later, I asked myself, I believed this, but I asked myself at that point, I did not have any evidence of this happening, how do you even know it's true, And so my first source of health information, especially on reproductive health, on women's health, was from society around me. And was it right? No. That also reminds me of when I was at university, and someone, had an ectopic pregnancy, and they still said the same thing. Someone said it's because of abortion or abortions that they've had. That's why they've had an ectopic pregnancy. And I thought, could it be the cause? Don't forget, the seeds were already planted when I was young. Socialization is a very powerful tool. It ingrains truths and mistruths in our head. It makes us believe things that we should not, but because this is what we've been brought up believing, it actually becomes a truth. And so I did find myself wondering, could it be the cause? Obviously I know it's not the cause, but it has taken a lot of my own self, going out to find this information for myself. And so first question was, where did I first get this my health information on miscarriages, infertility, as well as ectopic pregnancy, and was this information correct? And so the second one would be, did schooling do enough to correct any misinformation that I'd received? Categorically. And now this is from my point of view. No. Honestly, there's no session in school whereby they'll talk about the myths about abortion, about miscarriages and infertility and ectopic pregnancies, or even rainbow babies. There's no place where they're going to address these myths, truths. And for the causes, you'll know about an ectopic pregnancy and how it happens, but they don't address the causes, even miscarriages, in depth. They don't say at times these are health conditions, they may be unexplained, but also this could be the causes. They don't say that at all, or even in depth, and that is really, really needed. As I said, socialization, especially about health, it's a really, really powerful tool. Here you have me, and this is the information I received, and guess what? Even the people who told me this, that's the information that they had received. They were just passing on information that they thought was accurate. And so you have me receiving misinformation, and then you have me going to school and still not getting the right information, and there's no one correcting this misinformation. And so I think one of the things that I'd like to address that people have been saying, that as women we should know better. But here's the thing, we can't know better unless someone is teaching us more. Someone is teaching us about our bodies in depth. I do have my body with me. I do have my reproductive system with me, but there's no magic button that you can press where you can get all this information. We need to be proactive, one, in teaching other people, and in pointing people towards the right information, and in correcting this information. Yeah, so I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with anyone who says, and it's women who saying this. Guess what? As women, we also don't know better. You know, I have my body, but unless someone teaches me, it doesn't come to me automatically. And so, what next? What can we do? So I would say, here's the thing. One, I think we need to campaign, you know. We need to campaign for the institutions concerned, you know. The Ministry of Health, you know, they should have I don't know if they do, but they should have a page where they're talking about these medical conditions, like they do with the NHS one. I think I'm going to I'm not sure. Oh yeah, so I'm not able to change the view of my phone to show you, but they do have, you know, they do have if you Google whatever you want, say thrush NHS, whatever it is that you're looking for, they will have this information. So we need, I don't know if the Ministry of Health has this information, but the last time I checked, they did not. So, but we need the relevant bodies involved, including the Education Ministry, churches, societal organizations. We need to come together and offer comprehensive health education, reproductive health education, as well as health education. And then the second one, and this is something simple that we can all do, you know, we can start talking about these things more openly. We should not wait until something happens to us so that we can start forwarding information about miscarriages and ectopic pregnancy or infertility. We can start talking about them now, you know. You can talk it with your mom, you know. You can talk it with you can talk about it with your cousins, with your friends. If someone came to me right now and they said, and I do this a lot, I went to a shop and they said, oh no, women dying from childbirth, that's God's will, you know, it happens. And I was like, no, you know. And I was able to say, here's the thing, if it's God's will, it would happen. Sorry, a bit of an earthquake. Oh, my house. Yeah, so I wonder if I should be worried about the foundation of this building, but sorry, I digress. But we were talking about childbirth, and they were saying, no, this is something, it's God's will for, you know, at times when women die from childbirth. And I said, I would agree that it was God's will if it happened, or the incidences of women dying in Kenya were the same as women dying in the UK or in Austria. If this roughly the same number of women died from giving birth, then I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, it's God's will. But I said, right now we have more women dying from childbirth compared to developed countries. And I pointed out why this was the case. And I said, I asked them, if your daughter was pregnant, where would you want them to give birth? Here in the UK, you know, or do you want them to go back to your home country, in that poorly equipped hospital, or even in a nice private hospital in your home country? Where would you want to, you know? I'd choose either a private hospital in my home country or here in the UK, you know. And that's not to say it doesn't happen, but we have to remove all the risk factors, and we have to start talking about it. You know, we have to don't keep quiet, you know. Don't keep quiet when people are spreading misinformation. It's really hard to deal with, but it's so dangerous, you know. It's really dangerous. There are people who will miss out on treatment over something that would, if it had been caught earlier, they would have had a higher chance of getting better. But because we allowed misinformation to prevent them from seeking medical, you know, advice or medical treatment, you know, we are causing more harm than good. So we have to talk about it. We have to start forwarding posts about health, health information, accurate health information, so that people can benefit about it. So lastly, what I have to say about it, and I'm sorry for what I said would be the video I said would not be long, but 20 minutes, not that bad. But here's the thing, our parents, us, so many people, before us, they've suffered from misinformation, and it's this misinformation that they got through the processes of socialization that they taught us and all that stuff, but we have a role, to play in breaking that chain. Honestly, if you look at our grandparents, they did not know so much about reproductive health, but we do. And we can break that chain so that the young girls growing in Kenya or growing anywhere around Africa, or even the migrant populations anywhere in the world, so that they don't have to suffer from the lack of accurate information, and so that when women experience miscarriages, they experience infertility, we'll be more compassionate because we're coming from a more informed background. So I'll see you next time on Your Health Matters, and we're hoping that we can get linkages, we can link people, not just talking. We can say this is where you can go to get more information on this, and that is why I've delayed on the first 2 episodes, and I hope to do that. So thank you for joining me. This has been Your Health Matters, your host Dr. Soni, and see you next time. Bye.